Hi, my inner circle of abundant manifesting beings. Welcome, everyone. I hope you guys continue to have had a wonderful week. Today is Tuesday. Today is the day of the full moon. We actually have a partial lunar eclipse that will happen this evening around 5:38 p.m. Eastern Standard. So, based on where you are in the world, check the clock for the difference in the time. Could be earlier or later based on where you're located. Here on the East Coast, we will not have a good view, I understand from scientists, of the partial eclipse, but we will see the beauty of the full moon. Today is September. Why am I already in September? Because some amazing things are going to be happening in September. We got to get to September. Today is July 16th, 2019. We have an 8-day. An 8-day is made up of fours. And before starting this video, I was doing some meditation. And actually, what was coming up through my guides in answering the question of our energy for this reading today was that we already know that 8 is infinity. We already know that 8 is advancement. But what we didn't talk about before was the strength of the number 8 and how the number 8 is bringing about advancement. So the last few videos we've been actually putting into practice how we are to manifest. So we're going to continue with that energy because that energy is still here. I can't even run from it if I wanted to. I hope you guys are feeling the strength in your lives, the stability that is starting to emerge from these number 444s. If you're seeing these triple numbers, whether there's ones, twos, threes, fours, and so on, you are in the vibration. When we talk about being in the vibration and how being in our inner circle, we came up last week with understanding that we are an inner circle. We're in a circle of completion. And being in that circle of completion means that we are vibrating wherever you hear about the secret or how to manifest or how to get in the flow. We've been actually drumming up that vibration, actually moving that energy into our own lives through our fire of our body, and we're staying in that energy. And so we're talking about the third chakra again, Manipura, the solar plexus, because we're still in our energy of personal power. So with that, remember, focus when you are meditating on your solar plexus or any of your chakras, but this week coming up, we really want to focus on this chakra, which is 2 inches below the navel and 2 inches in is our energy. We want to make sure our digestive system, our eating habits are in focus so that we can be living from that power of our solar plexus. The energy that the crystal pendulum chose is our energy chakra, and that's the stone that I have here. And see that hand of energy, that power, that's the Reiki symbol of how energy is moved. And I put those on the cards. I'm going to put it over to the side because we're going to dive into these cards. But we also are still in the dragon. The dragon is still here. And when we are looking at that dragon, we're looking at personal power and protection. That is the Choco-Ray symbol. We've spoken about that, so I'm not going to elaborate back on those energies because we've done this. If you are just joining us, you have to maybe go back so that you can actually be in part of these energies and understanding where we are. I am Dragon She, guys. Dragon She, call me Dragon She. This dragon is here, and it's been here for me personally for a long time. And the dragon actually is the third chakra. It's that energy. And when this dragon is here, it's a fire. The fire that burns and eats away and clear all of the clutter that has been maybe causing constipation, indigestion, just anything that has to do with that tummy area. Once this area is burned away and cleaned off, we will be able to see beyond the horizons. We'll be able to see what other people cannot see. And you should already be seeing those, what we call mystical, magical instances. Sagittarius is the energy of the full moon, and it is a fire sign. So when we're looking at the Archer, and that came up 2 readings ago, the Archer was the arrow. And we talked about with that bow and arrow, all you had to do was aim. I'm going to go ahead and jump into these cards. These energies they're still resonating. And we're just going to keep going. We're just going to see what happens. So dear spirits and guides, we've already set the intention for our power and our energy to help us continue with our energies of the fours, the 4. And the 4 is pure divine energy. We're talking about our paths are sprinkled with gold and laced in abundance. Dear Oracle Mystical Shaman, we're looking for a card that will help us, guide us, give us instruction and direction on our path, where are we to go next, what energies are we to focus on this week to help us stay in this abundance and continue to grow throughout the next 6 months and beyond. But right now, the pattern of the earth, the pattern of the flow is definitely in that season of prosperity for us all. 1 card, Oracle, just 1 card, please. Or any cards that you have for us that will help us in these energies. I'm actually feeling 3 cards that have not surfaced yet, but we'll see. We'll keep shuffling. There's 2. That other card jumped, but let's see if it still wants to come out. It flipped, but it didn't fall. There it is. There it is. It's 3 cards, and I felt them. It's 3 cards, guys. Wow. Okay, so I'm also feeling okay, whew. Here we go. The Rainmaker. And the Rainmaker, we have during the months of June, July, August, we get into a pattern of storms coming up the coast. So that's why we have been seeing, we don't know how devastating or how much or how fast this rain of water, when they talk about the hurricanes, there was, I guess, last week, the storm that was in the news here in the United States coming up the coast through Florida, through Louisiana, Texas region. They were talking about Barry. His name was Barry. And they did a lot of preparations, but by the time he hit solid ground, he had fizzled out to a storm. So we are in the energy through August of the Rainmaker. And the Rainmaker is a 6. So when we're looking at 6s, we're talking about perseverance. And the Rainmaker is actually going to help us dry our tears, wash away all of the things that we are tossing away, getting rid of, purging, to make room for the new. When it rains, the sun comes out. It's a brand new day full of sunshine. So we have to have rain. And when this Rainmaker, which I felt in the cards, I felt 3 cards. And when we're talking about the number 3, we're talking about creativity. And with that, the Rainmaker is sharing with us, which also is a product of that 6. The essence is to kind of give us our opening, our vibration opening to be the master of manifestation. When the Rainmaker is in the elements of nature, and water is one of our elements, it also means nature is here to try to help us serve the greater good for all. And all means all that our co-creator has designed. The great beauty of this earth, the benefit of the flow of air and water, and the fire that burns, that lights our lives, that give us light, the sun, is all here in the elements of the Rainmaker. So that individually, we can focus on our personal gain. But our personal gain has to also have the intent for everyone else, because when one suffers, we all suffer. When the earth is parched, when it doesn't receive the water and the rain that it needs to come from the heavens to grow our crops, to actually align our lives into the actually what we've been talking about, what the Spirit's been trying to show us, is that we are being called to create something new individually that will actually take root. It starts with the seed. And so when you take the divine roll of a dice, so to say, and you recognize that you're co-creating your world, that when you are in alignment with that co-creator, you're looking in the mirror with unconditional love at yourself. So if you can do personal rain dance, your own dance to your own tune, so to say, you go into what we call the crack of the dawn or the crack of the night, just when the sun is passing the moon, whether it's in the morning or it's in the evening. This evening it will be around 5:38. And so if you can wash away all of your challenges that you've been working on clearing and cleansing, it's here to help you do that through this dance of the Rainmaker. Wow, that's beautiful. Look at that card. Our next card is the medicine wheel. And we're back with that medicine wheel because today's an 8 day. When you add 3 and 5, we're at the 8. So we are moving in perfect harmony with the vibrations of the secret of our own destinies the medicine wheel has come again, just to make sure that we understand the secret of the 4 cardinal directions. The 4 cardinal directions are the cycle of life, the cycle of nature, the cycle of the cosmos. And when we use these cycles of our lives, these steps, that help us integrate and step into our own power of wisdom, we can only manifest when the rain clears blue skies. So it's important to look at the medicine wheel from all directions. So when we talk about the south, when you look to the south, you are reflecting on how you still need to cling to events of your life. So when we pray and we say, okay, God, I pray for this to happen, but in order for me to have my destiny, please don't take away this, or please let me keep that. When you do that, you're no longer in the pattern of manifesting blue skies. You have to believe and you have to trust that when we're clearing these events of our past, when we decide and choose forgiveness, and when we know that things in our lives no longer are serving us, that we have to try to put aside or actually clear, then we're ready to step into the energy of the north. Because as long as you continue in the west to deal with relationships that are toxic and that drain your energy, there's no way you can step into the north. So when we look at this wheel, these are the signs or the elements of that completion of life, when you have actually tackled each of these directions. So when you are in the direction of the north, you are ready to ask yourself about your desires and your passions. And so up in the north, down in we're dealing with the upper world. We're going to those councils and those loved ones that are in the upper world, rooting us on and helping us to step into our real passions. When we're still in the south, we're rooted in the lower world that really keeps us between the lower world and the middle world. The middle world is here, is this realm that we're stuck in this world and in its toxicity of what's growing in the middle world. So when we move over to the direction of the east, we have finally realized that our direction, and we have really come into knowing what we want to live in the next chapter of our lives. So when we step into the east, we already know where we're going. It's all been done. We're on our way. You are manifesting. You're seeing and believing and trusting in the process. You're seeing it in your daily lives. You're receiving in grace. So in order to clear out the different directions of your life of where you are, on this wheel until you know where completion really is, then you must continue to work to make sure that when you are done, that every step along the wheel of life, the medicine of the wheel of life, has taken you to a completed journey. And so right now, the medicine from this wheel is telling us not to postpone this journey any longer, because healing is here. Everything you need, every spirit guide, every human person who is still here on the Middle Earth that's a part of your soul group are here to help you and get through it. So don't make a mistake with timing by putting it off. Follow the direction of the wheel from north to east to south to west, and make sure that when you get to west, because if you come back to west, that means you have to start all over again. You are continuing to clear out toxic energies from your life. Wow. Woo. Here we go with our third card of this reading, which is the staff. And the energies don't trick us, because the energies are truth. This card is 51. It's a 6. And a 6 is actually staying the course, perseverance on the medicine wheel. If you persevere, if you get rid of the West and all its toxicity, and you move around back to the West, and when you come back around from the West to the West, that means that you have reached completion. And completion is here to help us actually step into the staff of authority. In the Bible, the staff is represented in Moses' journey. And in his staff, he held the power to handle extreme situations and challenges that came his way in his battle and his fight to save the Hebrews. In that story, when we talk about today, we talk about respirations for things that were done wrong to groups of people here that are living on this earth. If we are encountering that conversation, then that conversation goes all the way back to the lineage of the Hebrews. And when the staff has appeared for us, when Moses was promised with his powerful staff that he would make it into the promised land, if he stuck to the course, if he persevered, and it took them 40 years without Moses to actually make it into the promised land. But for us, this staff is here to help us find the right course of action and the way, how we get right into it. This staff is here to aid us to maintain our balance once we start moving forward along completion to our destiny. This staff became a serpent in the desert for Moses. And he could summon the power of nature to heal or to call plagues. So we now have the power of the staff of authority in our own lives to heal. This staff is here to remind us of the impermanence of all things. So that means the things that we have to let go. Sometimes, it seems like when we hold on to things, we don't want to let them go. But when we recognize that those things no longer serve us, that it's time to clear the clutter. It's like the people who in these storms, let's use the storm of Katrina. People lost homes, they lost memories. Some of them lost family members and their pets, and some of them literally lost family members. But because of the impermanence of the world that we live in here in the middle world, when they recognized that all of those things was exactly what they were just things. And those things had served their purpose, because things, when we're traveling, when we're moving, when we're going into our destiny, sometimes we have to release some things. We have to take them out of our baggage and leave them, or completely leave everything, so that our new luggage, our new backpack, our new that is glittering with gold won't be tainted by our old baggage. As maybe it sounds horrible, but when we know things are impermanent, when we know things that are life lasting, are above, not in the middle world that we live in today. That when we personally, our time is to move to the upper world, that all of those things we loved that was dear to us will be there. But while we're still here in the middle way, our journey, when we use the power of this staff, will reunite us to things that bring a balance in our life. And so we have to trust our inner wisdom and take our first step using the staff to help balance us, so we can choose between opposing forces. So we will not be caught off guard, and so that we are balancing our yin and our yang, and we know when to take action and when non-action is our best friend. So the staff is here because we are in destiny. So when I said be careful what you think in your mind, make sure your heart is in agreement. Because right now is the time for your destiny, your true destiny, to be the way to abundance, joy, love, happiness. And time itself is an illusion. You create the time. You create the hour. You create the moment when you complete your journey of life lessons to step into destiny. If you need to know more, let me know by sending me an email to she@justbreathe.com, and I will be happy to do a reading for you. My readings are $65. If you need more clarity on how we can get you in this circle and where you can stay in this circle on an individual journey. Believe me, trust the process, the mystical, magical of destiny, because it's the truth. It is real. And if this is what you want for your life and you want it now, step into the circle. Do not delay. Namaste.